Welcome, everybody. This is another episode of Fear Assembly. We are your ultimate source for everything horror. And we hope by the end of the episode, you have a number of new films and shows that you can go watch and check out. And today, we're going to have a lot of debates. We're going to have some fun, different conversations about movies that are coming out, movies that are already out now and available in theaters or on digital or even on streaming. So with that, I'm going to reintroduce Amelia and Ricky. Amelia, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, Cole. Thank you. Happy to be here again with the awesome Ricky and the awesome Kills. So hello. Yeah, I'm Amelia, and you can find me on mostly TikTok. I speak all about everything spooky and creepy and horror and all the good stuff. And I'm at Clark's Capers over on there.
Hello, everybody. Hello again. Welcome back. I'm very excited to be back again. My name's Ricky, Ricky666 on TikTok and Instagram. I actually changed my name back. Yeah, loads of people were really upset that I changed my name. And I thought I'll change my name because people get really upset because it's, offensive or whatever. But yeah, I'm Ricky666 again.
Excellent. So what have you guys seen lately? Any movies that you want to talk about off the top of the show that's fresh in mind, even if it's non-horror?
So I haven't watched any horror films for a while. We've got a fresh baby at home on top of a 4-year-old, so we're very tired people, so we're in bed quite early, but we have just killed Severance.
Severance is fantastic on Apple Plus.
Oh man, absolutely loved it. I think the first season is faultless. It's a completely faultless season. Second season is amazing as well. There's one episode I wasn't in love with, but man, what a show.
I've never watched Severance.
Oh, it's very good.
Never seen it. I know a lot of people talk about it and say how good it is, but I've my watch list is really, really long. And I think I spoke to Ricky about this before. I'm in my nostalgic bubble, so I'm rewatching things I used to watch as a kid, like a load of Scooby Doo, loads of things like that, just like chewing gum for the brain, something chilled out. And I'm rewatching Pretty Little Liars at the moment. I'm forcing my fiance to watch it. It's an awful show. I used to love it back in the day, but it's fun to scream at the TV acts. It's just it's so annoying. That's what I'm watching. And I also did watch Obsession. I think we spoke about it on the podcast before, and I'm completely, mind the pun, obsessed with it. It's just brill.
I think sometimes we have to give our watch list a little bit of a break because my watch list is massive, and I got to a point where it's like, do you know what? I'm just gonna watch some stuff that I want to watch, and not work. Do you know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah, give the watch list a break sometimes.
100%,
I agree.
No, I 100% agree. Yeah.
Especially if your watch list is predominantly horror films, right? Because it can really desensitize you fast, and it starts to kind of blend together where you're like, okay, this jump scare didn't really do anything, and I kind of feel like I know where the story's going. But when you mix it in with documentary and drama and comedy, and then you see a great horror film like Obsession, it really then hits another note, right? So
For sure.
great. Well, the first thing that I'd like to discuss today is going to be kind of a game. So I'm going to mention 3 films, and I want you to essentially force rank these films. These are all movies that are going to be in theaters very soon or are in theaters now. And I want you to tell me which ones are it's a must watch, go see it right now or go see it opening weekend versus, yes, I'm going to go see it in theaters, but maybe not opening weekend. And then let's say the third tier would be, I'm going to watch it, but I'm going to wait until it hits digital for whatever reason. Okay. And so you brought up Obsession. I'm going to include that with Passenger and also Clayface. So, Amelia, how do you feel about these 3 now that you've seen Obsession?
Is this like a snog marry? I don't know if you guys do
Yeah.
snog marry avoid in the States. So you can't. You can only choose one for each, right? Okay. So like I said, I really do love Obsession. It's sick. It's got callbacks to things like Talk to Me. Obviously, an idea we've all seen, the Don't Wish on the Thing. But the way it was delivered is absolutely sick, and I really loved it. But I'm very excited for Clayface. I'm a massive fan of Batman. I love the villains and all that. I love James Watkins, who's directing. And also Passenger does seem cool as well. It's very reminiscent of do you know the Creep Show episode and the guy is trying to like hitchhike? What, I can't remember what it's called,
yeah.
but it's, do you remember? It's reminiscent of that for me. So I would say opening weekend Obsession, because I've seen it, so I can say definitely.
All
Next one, seeing theaters Clayface. I'm hoping, and last, wait for digital, but I also don't really believe that.
Sure. Yeah, no, we're going to watch all of these. Let's just call it 1, 2, and 3 then. Okay, so we'll just rank it 1, 2, and 3. Keep it simple. So, so you're saying third is going to be Passenger?
Yeah.
Out of your list. Okay, interesting. Ricky, do you concur, or do you have a different order?
The one that I'm most excited to see is Clayface, because like Amelia, I love Batman, but I love Batman when it's at its most dark, you know. So this feels like that, but without Batman, you know. It almost feels like a Nolan Batman without Batman. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that one. And it's a toss-up between Obsession and Passenger. So the only reason I'm excited about seeing Possession is because everybody who has seen it has said it's incredible. Full disclosure, I've watched the trailer a few times, and it doesn't really speak to me personally. It seems a bit whatever to me, right? But Curry Barker has impressed me time and time again. So I'm hoping that it proves me wrong. So I think, you know, see that in the theatre. And Passenger is... The trailer was so good though, wasn't it? Like that little teaser that they dropped was so good. And it got me interested without knowing anything about it. But because of the other two, I would put that third.
Got it. Well, for me, it's Obsession first, Passenger second, and Clayface third. I'm definitely going to watch all three. And they are also coming out in that order, so it's probably just going to naturally play out that way. Obsession, it seems like everybody that has seen this is just screaming at me to go see this thing. So I'm very excited just to see how crazy it is. I've also heard that the acting performances are phenomenal, which always elevates a film like this. But all three are going to be great. So before we go into the next batch, just a question, Ricky, you brought up, you know, seeing the trailer and things like that. Is there a movie that you can think of where you had no interest in it until you saw the trailer, and perhaps another that you were excited about and the trailer kind of turned you off, and you know, maybe delayed going to watch?
So interested from the trailer and then put off by the trailer.
Yes.
So
like, how much does the trailer impact, you know, where you put it in your watch list and actually take action to go see it?
I try to avoid trailers as much as I can. I like to go in as blind as possible. So I will watch about 30 seconds of a trailer before I decide, okay, this is for me. The one movie that did it for me was Skinamarink. I saw the trailer for Skinamarink, and I was instantly like, what is this? I need to see it. Analog horror is one of my favorite subgenres of horror. So I was like, this looks right up my alley. And a trailer that I've seen that has put me off of a movie, I would have to say any Insidious trailer.
Even the most recent one?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that fort scene is pretty creepy in my opinion. So
Sure.
Amelia, how about you? How much did the trailers impact your watching behavior and decisions?
Much like Ricky, I try not to watch trailers. Like, I know there's some content creators that do like trailer reactions and stuff, and I tried to do that a few years ago, and then I was like, that's not really a bit of me, because I chat too much and I'm too loud. So I try not to watch them unless it's something that I'm really, really, really excited for, like Clayface or Obsession. But we're seeing something really cool now, like, not to spoil anything, of course, but there's a lot of things in the Obsession trailer that I didn't see in the film. And I was like, okay, or things were kind of different. And I was like, oh, okay. And they also did that with Ready or Not 2. There's a bit where Samara Weaving is screaming, but then that also wasn't in the film. And I was like, oh, so hopefully now we're seeing, when things are actually being filmed, like additional bits maybe, then that's put into the trailer to kind of like offset people. And so, you know, I don't know, but yeah.
I love that trailers now are slowly moving away from what trailers were like 10 years ago, right? We're seeing so many cool like marketing campaigns. Like Obsession did a really cool one recently with the billboards in LA and New York, right? That was so cool. Longlegs, man, that their marketing was crazy good, and I love. That's what gets me interested. We're talking about trailers that get me interested. It's the trailers that don't show us the movie, but they give us clues, you know?
Right. I agree. Like the marketing campaigns, like I used to work in marketing, so I always get really jazzed at how they market horror films. Like Smile 2 with having like the people smiling in the where was it? It wasn't basketball, was it? What was it?
I think was it the Super Bowl maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, but they had people smiling in the audience, didn't they? It looked really creepy. And then Smile 2 was really cool. So, yeah, the way things are marketed now. But being in the UK, Ricky, we don't get anything.
No, we don't. No.
Well, there's something, maybe it's only here in the States, but with Obsession, they have a number that you can call or text for the female character in Obsession. And I have not texted it yet because I don't really like giving my cell phone number out. I feel like I then get all these junk messages and things like that. But it's a really cool interactive way to kind of, stay engaged with your audience, whether you've seen it or not. So yeah, I think anytime that there's that creative marketing aspect, it always elevates these releases. So again, that's why it's top of my list. But let's move on to the next batch of films here. So I have Disclosure Day, Leviticus, and Backrooms. Who wants to go first?
I can take this one. Super excited about Backrooms. Probably my most anticipated horror film this year. I love how this film has come about. I think that we're seeing a new wave of horror filmmakers that have been directly inspired by the internet, like myself. So super excited to see this one. The other two I don't really know too much about. I've heard Leviticus is very, very good. So I will go to the cinema to watch that one. And what was the other one you mentioned? Sorry,
Disclosure Day, the Steven Spielberg alien / UFO movie with Emily Blunt.
Sure. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it, so I would wait to see that one at home, I guess.
All right, Amelia, how about you? How would you rank these?
I haven't heard much about Disclosure Day neither. When you were saying that, Ricky, I was like, yeah. I mean, I said on the podcast when I was on previously that anything to do with A is like, no. Anything to do with no. So maybe that's why I haven't said anything to do with it. But I would say also, again, to kind of piggyback off Ricky, something really cool is happening in horror. We've got like YouTubers, content creators, and comedians, like just making some awesome films. So Backrooms would definitely be like open, like number one, like I would say, to go and watch it as soon as it comes out. I'm very, very, very excited to watch it. And then I guess Leviticus I've also heard is meant to be really good, but I've kind of been trying to keep away from it because it's not high on my list of priorities of new stuff coming out. So I'd say Backrooms, Leviticus, and no UFOs.
Although it would be interesting to see what Spielberg is going to do with horror again.
Yeah.
You know? I think he said recently that he's never directed a horror film before.
Well, I mean, Jaws. It all kind of depends on how far you lean into one genre or another. This is obviously going to be sci-fi and drama as well, so it's going to have a little bit of everything. We'll see if it has a lot of action components to it. The trailer doesn't reveal much. It just really starts to scrape the surface, you could say, in terms of things that are already kind of in the lore of conspiracy theories and other things in terms of aliens and UFOs. But yeah, I mean, I think all three are going to be super interesting films. For me, Backrooms I'm most intrigued by, just to see how they translate a short form YouTube series into a feature film. Also just has a fantastic cast, another great, marketing activation effort from A24. A24 is also doing Leviticus. Leviticus was on our radar as Utopia. So I'm the co-founder of Utopia, the indie studio. And A24 acquired the rights to this very, very quickly. And everybody that has seen this, including our friend Chuck, who was on a podcast that we recorded recently, he's seen it twice. And said it's just phenomenal. So I'm very excited for that.
Of course, Chuck has already seen it.
Right, yeah.
Chuck sees everything.
He sees
before
everything
me.
super quick, yeah.
Yes.
So out of
He-
order,
he's
Chuck.
got a guy, and his guy is a guy. So
Give us
but
the
yeah.
guy. We want the guy.
yeah. And Disclosure Day, I just feel like is going to be an event no matter what. You know, everything Spielberg, you just have to go see it on the biggest screen. And as I've mentioned in past podcasts, my wife is not a horror fan, so I will probably be buying a single ticket for that one, or finding a group of friends to go. But all three of these are great. So this is the hardest one for me to personally rank. The next batch that I want to discuss involves Evil Dead Burn, Ice Cream Man, and Scary Movie 6. So three very different films. Amelia, why don't you kick us off with this Gret?
I'm loving the new since Evil Dead 2013. I've been liking these new installments. Like Evil Dead 2013, in my personal opinion, was perfect. Like I loved it. It was so good. And then Evil Dead Burn was also awesome. Not as good as 2013, but it was still sick. And I did watch the trailer for Evil Dead Burn. With speaking about trailers, I did watch the trailer for it, and they had a dog that looked like it had deadeye eyes, and we've never seen an animal being taken over by the deadites, right? So I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I guess they're going to be doing something new and fresh in that film. Ice Cream Man, I haven't really heard much about. I know it's Eli Roth. I haven't really heard. I think they did like a few activations around. CinemaCon, or I can't remember what it's called. There was a few bits flying around that looked kind of cool. But I reckon with Scary Movie 6, that's one you have to watch with a big group of people in a cinema. Like you just have to. So probably Evil Dead Burn, Scary Movie 6, and then Ice Cream Man. Because apparently in Scary Movie 6 as well, they're saying no holds barred, like everyone can get it. So yeah, let's see how bad it is.
All right. Ricky, how about you?
I agree. I think I'm really excited for Evil Dead Burn. I want them to return to 2013. I want them to return to the original. You know, was that 81? Was it? I can't remember when it came out.
Sure.
8182 maybe.
Something like that. I want them to go really, really brutal with it. I hope it's the last one. I don't want them to keep making them. And if it is the last one, I want them to go absolutely nuts with it. Take us right back. We want gore. We don't want just blood. Ice Cream Man is a film I know very little about. Not massive lover of Eli Roth's films. I thought that what was that film he made? Green Inferno.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was an incredibly problematic movie, actually. The way it kind of depicted indigenous people, I remember watching, just being like, whoa. So not excited to see that film too much. I was raised on scary movies. Scary Movie 2, I think, is one of my favorite, comedy movies. It's a movie that reminds me of my mum and a certain time in my life. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the new one. There's so many cool things that they can take the piss out of now. Hereditary. They can, the death scene in Hereditary, that they can make that so funny. So yeah, number 2. I've done this in such a weird way. Jesus. Evil Dead Burn number 1.
Yeah.
Scary Movie 6, and then The Ice Cream Man.
All right. So I agree with that order. I think Evil Dead probably has the most pressure, to work, just because it feels like the fans of that franchise do want it to kind of get back into its original lore and style and how it does things. I hope that it also has some funny scenes. I'll say that the first trailer that came out was just so anxiety riven, right? Just seeing these people getting thrown around from this mysterious force, something just terrible is happening to everybody. But, how intense is this movie going to be? Does it jump right in, 2 minutes into the film, 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in. So we'll see. But I really hope that is the scariest one. And I hope for Scary Movie 6 that it's funny, because there really haven't been a lot of laugh out loud movies in theaters recently. Everybody's kind of playing it safe. Studios are generally playing it safe. So I think, as fans of that franchise and just comedies in general, it has the most opportunity to actually go and make a difference, I think, in the market. The next grouping of films that I want to debate is Insidious 6, Out of the Further. The second film is Colony. And the third film, which comes out later this year, is Wurwolf. So, Ricky, let's start with you on this one.
The only one I really know of is Insidious Out the Further. I don't want to be. So I personally think that the entire Insidious franchise is a little bit overrated. Okay, I like the first half of the very first movie when it was all spooky and kind of conjuring-y, if that's a word. But then when they kind of go into the further and it becomes a bit cartoony and obvious, and it's a me problem, it's not a them problem. I just like my horror a bit more suggestive, and I feel like the Insidious movies show us everything in a way that feels too cartoony for me. So I'm not really excited to see that one. If I'm being entirely honest. The other two movies I like a good werewolf. I recently got a werewolf tattooed on my neck. I do like a good werewolf movie. Favorite werewolf movie of all time, American Werewolf in London, obviously.
Straight up.
But I also think that there is no middle ground with werewolf movies, right? They're either really, really good or they're really, really bad. So I'm hoping it's going to be really, really good. And what was the third one?
Colony. So this is from the director of Train to Busan. This is a very intense zombie film. And that trailer is also out now.
Okay. I'll need to see the trailer. So by default, I shall put that third.
All right. Amelia, how do you feel about this list?
Just to say, I'm really sorry, Ricky, but there is Evil Dead Wrath coming out after Evil Dead Burn, mate. So there's another one coming. So, I'm going to have to tell you.
Stop franchising movies.
Right. Honestly, I agree. I do agree with that. But as far as the list goes, Robert Eggers was sick with Nosferatu. He's doing Werewolf, and Nosferatu is really cool. It felt like it was a film I could show my mom. Like, my mom really likes Hammer horror and more like gothic horror, and she loved Nosferatu. And I'm really interested to see what it's going to do with what his take on the werewolf is going to be. So that's kind of high. What else did you say? What was the other one?
Insidious and Colony.
Oh, Insidious, yes, Insidious. I'm with Ricky. I think Insidious is like, if I was a teenager with my mates, the whole Insidious franchise, kind of much like the Conjuring franchise, it's a great entry horrors. But for me personally, I kind of find them hilarious. Like, I find them kind of funny. The lipstick demon in Insidious is really funny. Like, it's just really funny. So I kind of, there's certain horror films with my like neurodivergent brain that I kind of watch as comedies, and Insidious is one of them. I just find it really funny. And the last one, I've not heard about that. Was it Colony?
Yeah, this. So again, it's from the director of Train to Busan, which I know you love.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to creep up on people. But in my opinion, that is the one I'm most excited about, actually. I feel like Insidious, it might be good, this year, but I feel like you kind of know what you're getting there. Colony is more of a wild card. And then with Werewolf, it's just a matter of, what direction do they take it in, and do they focus on a really good transformation scene, just like Werewolf in London, right? Like you were saying, Ricky. I think that's by far the best transformation scene out of any of the werewolf films. But yeah, I mean, everything that Eggers touches, people tend to love, whether in the mainstream or, more of the cinephiles. And this is one, again, that comes out later this year. So there's time to rev up the marketing, and all three are going to be great. But Colony is the one that I'm most excited about.
I had no idea that. I had no idea that Eggers was doing Werewolf.
Yeah, man. So it's going to come out around the same time as Nosferatu. So I think Nosferatu was either, I watched it a bit early around Christmas. I think it was either like New Year's Day or Christmas Eve or one of them. And I think Werewolf is coming around the same time, it's got Lily Rose Depp in it again, and it looks cool. It looks good.
Is he creating a universe, do you think?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, we're seeing a lot of throwbacks to like Universal Monsters, aren't we? Like we're
Exactly,
seeing a
yeah.
lot of like older. I'm sure we're thinking the same. Like older renditions, like Gothic horrors coming back, like The Mummy, like well, blah blah. So maybe I'm waiting to see who's going to do like the Swamp Thing,
Yeah,
because no one's
Yeah.
picked that up yet. So
sure.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
I'm-
going to
I'm
find
here
out
for it.
very soon.
for it,
Go ahead,
dude.
Ricky.
I'm here for Edgar's universe.
yeah.
Nice. The final batch, and then we'll hit on things that are on digital. We have Godzilla Minus Zero. We have another movie called Other Mommy that I did not know about until recently. And then we have the Resident Evil film, which is just a standalone. There's no addition to that title like with Insidious. It's just Resident Evil, as if they're starting this with a fresh vision. So, Amelia, how would you rank these?
I'm super excited for this Resident Evil. Like, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it, because there hasn't been many like good renditions of games. Like, I'm a gamer. I love horror games, and oh my gosh, what was it? I never watched Return to Silent Hill because it got such bad reviews, and everyone said it was really rubbish, it was really shit, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch that. But this Resident Evil, again, from the bits from the trailer that I saw, just like short clips, it looked really sick. Other Mommy, I've been staying away from that because the premise itself sounded really cool, and all I've seen is like the front cover with like the rabbit outline. It looks cool. And then I'm not a Godzilla fan at all. Like, I've never been into Godzilla films. Like, just it's not really a bit of me. So I'd probably put Godzilla as third, Other Mommy as number 2 because I don't know a lot about it, and Resi as number 1.
Got it. So, Other Mommy, for people that are not as familiar, and again, I had not heard of this one. It was not on my radar until I started to dig in and look ahead at the release calendar. This is coming from James Wan and Blumhouse. It is a supernatural horror film that's going to be released from Universal in October of this year in the United States, and usually they release internationally around the same time. This has Jessica Chastain, Jay Duplass, Ditchin Lachman, Sean Kaufman, Karen Allen. So that's all that we really know, at this point. But again, the marketing assets will probably start coming out, I would say, this summer. And as people start to hear about it more, we'll see if this moves up the ranks. But I tend to agree, with your rankings, Amelia. I am going to definitely watch the Godzilla one because the prior film blew me away, both in terms of the special effects and also an interesting storyline. So I would say if you don't like Godzilla stuff or the big monster, destruction of the world types of movies, I think the filmmakers are aware of that, and they usually have their nuance to it. And usually there's some genuinely funny moments as well, which I think more horror films need to lean into to understand that balance in their audience, that you can't always take a Godzilla-esque movie seriously and be terrified of this thing walking around the city lighting everything on fire. So Ricky, how about you with this list?
I feel like this whole thing has just been designed to make me be controversial. So I didn't like Weapons. I didn't like Barbarian. I don't think they were badly made movies, but I don't think they're as good as, I personally don't think they're as good as other people think they are. Barbarian I feel like it's something that we've had before. They just changed the location to an Airbnb. Weapons, for me, wasn't really a horror film, and the jump scares and stuff that they put in there, it felt like an afterthought to be like, oh god, we're making a horror film, we need to do something that's like scary. Here's a jump scare. So I recently got into some conversations online about his films, and so Resident Evil looks like the first traditional horror film I've seen from him. I want it to work. I want it to be good. But then again, I'm just like, what, another Resident Evil film? So I'm looking forward to seeing it just because I want to be proved wrong.
All right.
I want him to do something that makes me go like, okay, I get it now. I get it. I don't want these films to fail. I want them to be successful. But yes.
Did either of you play the video games when they originally came out?
Yeah, not when they originally came out, but my older sister, that's where I got my love of like horror games. So I played them as I was growing up, and they're bloody terrifying.
Yeah.
I want this to be a scary film, but I get what you're saying as well, Ricky, about weapons. Like, I feel I liked weapons, but then the ending, when like the kind of comedic bit, it was like half creeping into horror, and then it just turned into like kind of a comedy film, and I was a bit like, what's going on? Like, what is this?
I feel like they did too much with it. I feel like there was too many characters and too many sidelines, and the whole time you're waiting to think, how is this all going to join up? And I think that the most interesting thing about that film was the main, I forget her name, the main, she plays Ruth in Ozark. I forgot, Jennifer something. Her story was great. I thought that was really, really good. But there was too much going on. Focus on that one thing and decide whether you want to be a horror film or you want to be something else, you know?
Julia Garner.
That's it, Julia Garner. Amazing in Ozark.
She's sick. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah. And what were the other two? My brain is a sieve.
So the Godzilla movie and Other Mommy.
So Other Mummy, James Wan, Paranormal. Could be good. Could be bad. You know, there's no way of knowing. I really like the first two Conjuring movies. So if he goes back to that, I'll be really, really happy. And Godzilla, again, wasn't really my thing.
All right, fair enough. So we're going to play a similar game. This time it's going to be for movies that everybody listening can theoretically watch tonight, because all of these are on digital or they're streaming. And they should be available regardless of where you're listening to this podcast. So the first list is Creep, Heart Eyes, and Send Help. Who wants to take that?
I think... So which Creep are we talking about?
The original.
Duplass?
Yes.
Or the London Underground Creep?
That's what
Mark
I was
Duplass.
wondering.
Yes.
Duplass. I love that film. I think it's such a good film. It's such a well written horror comedy, because that's what it is really. It's a horror comedy film that is terrifying, and Duplass plays the role so well. He is a creep. You know, the guy is a creep. Not Duplass, his character. So I love that film. I was talking about that film years and years and years ago, and when I started my channels, that was one of the first films I talked about. And the second film is great as well. Go watch that tonight. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It will terrify you. It will make you laugh. It will make you queasy. So good. Again, I've forgotten the other two films.
Send Help and Heart Eyes.
Right, I have not seen Send Help, so I will not give an opinion on that one. And Heart Eyes wasn't really for me. You know, a new slasher that wasn't really doing anything new.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Amelia, do you want to debate on that? Do you rank Creep last?
Well, number one, Creep, like, hell yeah, it's freaking sick. It's sick. And just to add it, sorry, listeners and lads, but also Duplass is kind of hot in the film. Like, my fiance won't mind me saying, it's kind of hot. So that, I'd say, number one, because like Ricky said, it's scary, the tension's great, it's humorous, and also it's well acted, well written. Like, Creep is sick. Creep is a sick film. With Heart Eyes, I was kind of stoked because even though I'm in a relationship, I'm kind of like an anti-Valentine's Day human. I'm just a bit like, I used to work in card shops when I was a kid, so I'm literally like, oh my God, Valentine's Day, oh no. It just makes me feel a bit ill. So when I was like, okay, we're going to get like another, because we don't have a lot of Valentine's Day horrors. We don't have a lot of those type of seasonal films, right? So I watched it. It was fine. It was a bit like too lovey-dovey for me, because that's not really my type of film. I did like the the overall kind of design of the mask. I thought he was cool. There's another Heart Eyes 2 coming out, so it's being franchised. Sorry, Ricky. it's being franchised. So it's fine. It again, bubblegum horror, something that kids can watch. It's not scary, but there's enough bits that are like, ew, it was all right. And Send Help kind of shocked me. And I haven't seen it, Ricky, but it's like, so Sam Raimi and Rachel McAdams.
I have seen it. I'm sorry.
You said it?
I have seen it. It's on the island, right?
On the island, yeah.
Jesus Christ. I tell you what, I don't have 2 children. It wrecks your brain. I have seen it, yes. I remember it being... Sorry to interrupt. You carry on.
Good.
I'll jump in afterwards.
It's all good, dude. It's fine. When you watch as many films as us three do, you do forget stuff. I've done that many times in conversations with people. When they start talking about something, I'm like, oh, no, I've seen it, yeah. I didn't like it.
The crazy thing is I watched it about a week ago.
Oh, why? Yeah. I don't know why.
It doesn't say good things about the film, though, does it?
No, it doesn't, to be fair. It was all right. Like, I think, more importantly, I liked Rachel McAdams because back in the day I used to love Mean Girls, so it's cool seeing her in like a more sinister role. It didn't really feel... There was Sam Raimi-esque bits in there that as a filmmaker or a director, you'd be like, okay, this feels Sam Raimi-esque. But I wasn't really too much of like a fan of the story. The story's a bit boring and predictable. But if I had to watch it again, or if I went to a friend's house and they stuck it on, I wouldn't be like, turn it off. I'd watch it again, but it wasn't really for me.
It's the CGI in that movie as
So
well.
much CGI, yeah.
And I didn't realize that was meant to be a 3D movie, so I was watching it just like, what is going on? Like, Sam Raimi is known as somebody who kind of pioneered practical effects, right? And a lot of the stuff that they do in there's this one scene where someone eats a bug, and that's CGI.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Fork out for a fake bug, man.
Hey, no spoilers. Like all the people that were looking forward to that scene, now they're just going to see CGI. So
good. See what it is.
Thanks, Ricky.
Sorry.
So we'll move on to the next group. So we have Gerald's Game, Exit 8, 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Shall I start?
Dive in. Let's go.
I have not seen Exit 8 yet, but I've played the game, and I was meant to go see it early, but then life happened and I didn't go. So I guess I can't really comment on it, but I do like the game, and people said it was good, but I need to make my own opinion up, so I need to see it. With The Bone Temple, I felt really, really sad, because I love Jack O'Connell, I love Nia DaCosta, I think she's bringing something really fresh to the horror scene, she's a great director, and everybody I saw online talking about it, I liked it. It didn't really feel like... How can I say this nicely? It didn't really feel like a 28 years later film, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean
more like
that
what?
It felt more like... I don't know. But it didn't feel like a 28 years later
Like it was
film.
trying to be its own thing? Like with no tie-ins or...
I think when it comes to franchises, like for me personally, I like to see like a little bit of a tie-in or like a little bit of a callback. And the only callback was what's his name? Oh, Peaky Blinders being sorry, I don't say spoiler. That was like the only kind of callback, and I was like, it didn't really feel like a 28 years later film. One of the things I like about those films is it's not a zombie film. There's loads of other things and layers and themes to pull out of it, and that was cool. I loved like the Jimmies and all that stuff, but then again, it was kind of like humorous, but it wasn't humorous, but I liked their characters, but it just didn't feel like it had a place in 28 years later universe. But that's not to say I didn't like it, because I did. But then the box office numbers were really bad. And I was like, well, I thought everybody really liked it. So that's kind of confusing. That was weird. Then Gerard's Game, I freaking love that film. It's just, it could happen to anybody. And that's, it could happen to anybody.
Based on the bestseller from Stephen King.
Indeed,
Ricky, what are your thoughts on these three?
I love Gerald's Game. I think it's an incredible film. I think it's savage. It's so well written. It's Flanagan, Stephen King. I'm convinced that they are the same person. You never see them in the same room together. Their brains are similar, so that's why their films work so well. They feel like true collaborations of art, right? Literature and film coming full force together to create fucking magic, like actual magic. Absolutely loved it. Bone Temple, I agree with Amelia. I have a theory. 28 years later is one of my favorite horror films now.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I love that you can see that Danny Boyle has grown up as a filmmaker, right? He didn't want to just make 28 years later too. He wanted to make a new film. And what he did was he created Life of Pi with infected people, zombies, whatever, you know? It's such a stunning film. It's such an emotional film. And I feel like Bone Temple, they made a movie that would appease the hardcore 28 years later fans, right? Because we're going to get the next one, which is going back to Danny Boyle, which is probably going to be more similar to 28 years later. So I feel like they needed to put a film in the middle that people would be like, oh, that was actually pretty good. Because a bunch of people who saw 28 years later all kind of had the same thing. It was too weird. It was too far out. I like weird. I like far out. I love Danny Boyle. I love Alex Garland. You know, I'll defend them till I die.
All right.
And
with Exit 8, this is on digital now. This just wrapped up its theatrical campaign. Might have some screenings here and there, but it is on digital. So what are your thoughts on Exit 8?
I haven't seen it. I didn't play the game. I'm not a gamer. A gamer? Is that how you say it? I'm not a gamer. I used to play FIFA when I was a kid, and I used to play GTA. That was about it. Yeah.
Not even Doom, the classic first-person shooter games before the James Bond games came out. GoldenEye.
I wasn't. GoldenEye. Yeah, I used to play GoldenEye back in the day, but I wasn't really allowed to consume horror when I was a kid. So I wasn't allowed to play like super scary games. And I remember when I was 13, I got a Aliens game on the PlayStation 1. But yeah, never really got into like gaming myself personally.
All right. So the next batch that we're going to talk about, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're talking about the 2022 edition, Oddity, and Sinners. So Ricky, let's start with you on this one. How would you rank these?
Oddity is amazing. It's so creepy. I'm a Damien McCarthy mega fan. I fell in love with Caveat when that film first came out, and it everything that he's done since has been amazing. I haven't seen Hokum yet. I've heard people saying it's amazing, so I'm assuming it's amazing. But Sinners is like it brought horror to the mainstream in a way that we haven't seen for a really, really long time. I think we're going to talk about it later on, but one of my favorite subgenres of horror is social realism horror. And I know that's not a real official subgenre of horror, but I love horror films that take real world anxieties, fears, problems, and uses horror as the vehicle to present that to people, so we start having conversations about shit. That's what I live for. That's what my favorite horror is, right? Getting ahead of myself, but I also really love Odyssey. I think Oddity is such a good film, such a creepy film. So I'm going to draw a tie with them two films, and people are going to go, what, you're crazy, Sinners is amazing. I agree, Sinners is amazing. And the third film...
Texas Chainsaw.
Stop
Third
franchising
place.
movies.
Yeah, bronze medal.
Stop franchising movies.
Amelia, how do you feel about this list? Texas Chainsaw, Oddity, and Sinners.
So, like Damien McCarthy, defender till you die. I'm a Ryan Coogler defender till I die. Like, I want to see what he's gonna do to bloody what's it called, the X-Files. Like, I'm so intrigued. And also Animorphs. He's doing Animorphs. Do you remember Animorphs from back in the day? It was like boys, like it's human. It was like humans that could turn into animals.
Okay, I don't know this one.
Nor do I.
It was a series. It came on like CITV or one of those, like in the UK. And it was really funny. So I'm interested to see what it's going to do to that as well. But like Sinners literally made me cry. Like it made me cry. I think I spoke in the previous episode about how I'm a rock and metal fan, but I used to be a blues singer, so I love blues music. And Buddy Guy is in that film at the end, who used to be a sharecropper playing a older sharecropper, mad. And I was like, does no one understand how sick this is? Like, I love that film. Like, I love that film. I did many, like, I also do a lot of stuff on black horror and like No Dogs, No Blacks, No Irish, the Scottsboro Boys. There's so many. That film is so layered. It's just, yeah. Number one. Oddity is absolutely insane. It's so good. And also Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Was that the last one?
Yeah, the last one was 2022. Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the third one. Sinners is number one, but Sinners and Oddity, it's like Sinners is like that and Oddity is just there. But yeah, Sinners, 1,000%.
I agree with your ranking, Amelia. And the only thing I'll add to that for Oddity, if people have not seen it and don't know what it's about going in, you're actually better off going in without looking at the trailer and trying to read up on it, because this is really kind of a visual film. One of the characters is literally blind, and so you're watching her kind of wander around these scenes. You as the viewer know what she's about to walk into. But she doesn't necessarily know. And so it has this sense of dread throughout, where it just gets darker and crazier and weirder, and bad things are happening. And, again, I think we're seeing that carry forward into Hokum and a lot of these other films that we've discussed. So agree with that ranking. For our listeners, every film that we're mentioning here, none of these are, don't watch it, skip it, anything like that. These are all great horror films to check out. So if you have not seen any of these, like, this is your go watch list immediately. We're just having some fun debates over which order we would recommend them to our own friends. So the next batch is Smile 2, which I think we spoke briefly about earlier in this conversation, The Substance, which is a movie film, and Evil Dead Rise, the predecessor to the upcoming Evil Dead. So Ricky, how would you rank these three?
So I love The Substance. I thought The Substance was really, really good. I love practical effects. I love body horror. And it was good to see Demi Moore back, It's been a long time since we've seen her on our screens. So I think that was number one. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting all the movies.
Smile 2 and Evil Dead Rise.
Here we go. So, I love the Smile franchise, and it's not the type of film that I would naturally go for. But the thing I love about it is it's a mainstream horror that feels somewhat artistic, right? Especially the first one. There were some editing choices. The title reveal. It felt like a filmmaker who wanted to make a good film. And that does carry through a little bit with the second one. And Evil Dead Rise, I don't think it's a bad film. I don't think that the Evil Dead franchise has ever released a bad film. It's my least favorite of all of the films, though. So I would go Substance, I would go Evil Dead Rise, and then Smile 2.
Interesting. Amelia, how about you?
Interesting.
I have a different ranking, but I don't want to speak over your list.
The Substance was freaking sick. Like, so good. I can't remember the director, but she did Revenge. before The Substance, and Revenge was harrowing and was insane. So when I heard she was doing a body horror again, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be sick. And it didn't disappoint. Like, The Substance is so, so good. But I'm going to try not to talk too much because I could talk about Smile 2 for a very long time because I love that film.
Go for
I
it.
absolutely
Tell
love
us
it.
about it. Why? Why do you love it?
I love the psychological angle. So I used to study psychology for a year, then I dropped out because brain no worky. But there's so many like psychological bits in that make sense. Like Louis Fragoli, and Fragoli is like a disorder when you see people and you don't think it's the same person, and they put that in there. And like, oh, I was like, oh, Alec Fragoli, oh my god, that's so sick. Like, there's so many cool psychological things in there, and I think there's nothing scarier than your own mind. And I love the concept of an entity making you feel like you're going insane, and also shutting people off from you because they're frightened because you're going insane. There's something really, really creepy about that I loved. And I thought Sky Riley, who's played by Naomi Scott, who I absolutely love, the fact that it was a pop star whose job is to smile and to be personable, who had this thing on them, like, you know, I just thought I thought it was really sick. I really thought it was sick. And Smile 3 is coming out, but Parker Finn isn't going to be directing, and I'm kind of sad about it because, like Ricky said, there's like a real love of filmmaking in the Smile franchise. It doesn't feel independent, but it feels like there's a real care about the shots and the way it's done, and I really like that for a franchise as well. I think it's one of the most like honest franchises we have in the terms of filmmaking. Like, it feels like everything's purposeful, the music is purposeful. Like, it just, yeah, I love Smile 2. It's freaking sick.
There's so many scenes in Smile 2 that reminded me of the film Climax. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah,
Like the dancers and all of that.
yeah. Climax is good as well. Yeah, it's French film, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really good film. But yeah, I love Smile 2, love The Substance, and Evil Dead Rise. I agree. Actually, no, probably my least favorite in the Evil Dead franchise was probably. No, I do like Evil Dead 2 as well, but it's just a bit too jokey for me. It's a bit too jokey. I did enjoy Evil Dead Rise. Like, the title card was sick. I know that's not the whole film, but I have to say the title card was really sick. So probably Smile 2, The Substance, and then Evil Dead Rise.
All right.
Yeah.
So I agree with you both that Smile 2 is definitely underrated, and one for people that, if they've not seen it, you have to see it. I actually incorrectly watched this on a flight, and I did not account for, you don't get the internet on the flight until 10 minutes after takeoff, and then looking at the runtime and where we're landing when they cut it off. So I actually had the last 15 minutes cut off, and when I got to my hotel at my destination, I ended up renting that movie just to see the final 15 minutes of it. And it's one of the most intense horror films that you will see. It's not just going for jump scares and predictable creepiness. There's genuine moments where you're like, okay, there's a bad guy in the room. What's going to happen? And they're like just chasing each other around the dining room table or whatever. It's just very, very intense. The Substance, I was slightly underwhelmed by. I do think it was a great film, for what it is and what it represents, and it's a very sad story. It gets into mental health and all kinds of underlying issues, which I thought was really well done. I thought the end of that movie, without any spoilers, became somewhat predictable. Maybe that was just for me. I wanted to see it go a slightly different direction. I thought they had an opportunity to do that. But there were obviously some creative decisions in the middle of that story where you kind of saw where it was going. Evil Dead Rise, as I've spoken about on prior podcasts, I loved the trailer. I thought it was one of the best trailers ever. And this would have been one, going back to my earlier question to you, Ricky, where I think my expectations were too high going in just because of the trailer. And so I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, a must-watch top 10 in the horror genre type film for me. So that's why I would probably rank that third out of those. The next list here, we only have two more. Late Night with the Devil, Megan 2.0, and Unfriended Dark Web. So Ricky, while it's fresh in your mind, how would you rank those three? Thank you for listening. This conversation will continue in the next segment. Make sure to like and subscribe.